Welcome to our first Table Talk segment, where we break down these builds and tell you what's going on with them. This is my 13.9, and this is my G45. Full build breakdown. Let's get to it. So let's go ahead and break this rifle down. Starting at the front, we have our Dead Air Sandman S with a 5.56 end cap. And the reason that I chose a 30 caliber can over a dedicated 5.56 can was for two reasons. I have multiple platforms that I wanted to run this on. I have multiple 30 cals and multiple 5.56. The other reason that I went with this can is I wanted a super heavy use, heavy duty can overall. I wanted something I could beat the hell out of. If I ever got anything full auto, I could run it full auto. Mag dump after mag dump, don't really have to worry about it. I wanted something that I could really beat the crap out of, and I have really beat the crap out of this thing. So, sitting behind that is our Dead Air 3-prong flash hider. These flash hiders work extremely well. This flash hider mitigates almost every bit of flash coming out of this 13.9 inch barrel, which is really impressive. Take this off, there's a huge fireball out of the end of this thing. Just down from that, we have our Streamlight ProTac rail. It is a 1000 lume light, Magpul, Scout mount, and we have our Streamlight touchpad here in the back, and that is mounted to a Schaefer's M-Lock mount. These are a little spendy, but they are very robust. And it gives you a place to run your cables inside, which is really nice. Keeps them up out of the way. I did throw some zip ties around it for double redundancy's sake. This particular build is more of a tool than it is anything else. Moving down a little bit further, we have our Faxon Gunner Profile 13.9 inch barrel. I really like the profile of this barrel. They keep the majority of the weight towards the back. It is a 6.25 gas block journal in the front, which is really nice. And these barrels are very accurate. So far, I like this barrel a lot. I want to get it out on the range and really stretch it out to maybe 600 yards. I'm running a Superlative Arms gas block. I have them in all of my rifles, which is a little ridiculous, being as I've bought 6 or 7 of these at this point, which is $600 or $700 worth of gas blocks. If you're looking at getting an adjustable gas block, if you're gonna run suppressed, highly recommend them, they're fantastic. Moving down, we have a Strike Industries vertical hand stop. I tried to go with as little weight on this rifle as possible. These Strike Industries grips are great. They have cable management built into the top of them, so if you're running your light cable down here, you can run it through that. They're just thin enough to save you a little bit of weight, but not too thin where they're going to be brittle and break. So far, really like it. It enables me to just get just enough hand up on that and nothing more. So no snag points or anything like that. Just back from that, we have our rail scales. I've got one of these on each side for where my hand touches the rail. I've got one in the back here and one on the bottom here. The one on the bottom is mostly for show. It just dresses it up a little bit. Doesn't really do much. They're extremely light, so you're not really adding any weight. The one on the top I put there to hopefully help with a little bit of mirage coming off of the gas tube. Don't know if that's a thing, but it sounded good, so I did it. Moving to the other side here, I have a BCM sling swivel mount. So far, I've had really good luck with these. I've never had my sling come out of them. I have absolutely abused this one in particular. Snapped into that, we have a standard Magpul QD sling swivel. Same thing, I have absolutely abused the crap out of these things. I like them a lot. I run one on each side of the rifle. I've never had one come out or fail, as long as it is properly snapped into the mount itself. This rifle in particular, I am running a Blue Forest Gear multicam sling on this. I wanted the toughest, if not one of the toughest slings that I could put on this rifle, being as this is hard use, you know, and it's gonna see the most action out of all my rifles. I wanted something that I know that I can really rip on this thing and I'm never gonna have any issues with. I haven't had one of these things break yet. If I do, I'll be sure to put it in a video for you guys at a later point so you can see that. Moving a little further down here, forgot to mention, this is a Palmetto State lightweight handguard. This does everything that I needed to do. It's super slim, it's super lightweight. It seems to be incredibly sturdy and robust. Actually, the barrel flexes more than the handguard does, so no complaints there whatsoever. They're pretty well priced at around $100. They come with 2 QD points built into the rail. There is one here, and there is one up here. I like that a lot. I just prefer the steel on steel mounts with the Magpul and the BCM. You're probably wondering where my backup irons are, and that is a fantastic question. I have also wondered that. Currently waiting on either Aero Precision to re-release their aluminum flip-up backup irons, or Magpul to release their Imbus 3 sights. And I have hopes that the Imbus 3 is going to allow more precision when it comes to backup irons. Moving back to this thing sitting up here. I went with a Swamp Fox 1-8 lpvo. Watched a couple reviews on these, was a little unsure if I wanted to go that route, but decided I would take the chance for the price point. These are $400 when I bought them. Fantastic glass quality. I mean, clarity edge to edge, great field of view. They come with aluminum throw lever that bolts into the scope. If you can see this, it bolts directly into these channels, which is really nice. You don't ever have to worry about your throw lever slipping or coming loose. I haven't had it loosen up yet over time. It is extremely easy to grab. Haven't bent it or broke it off yet. I'm sure if I do, that'll really suck, and I'm sure it is inevitable until that day. It's holding up extremely well. These come with locking turrets, which is really cool for the price point to get locking turrets. It is a second focal plane scope. It is not a first focal plane. Like, I'm sure if it was a first focal plane, it would be twice the price. It is an illuminated reticle. There are off positions in between each and every illumination setting. I will throw a picture of the reticle itself up on the screen here for you. I believe they call this the Gorilla Dot reticle. I really like it. It's super simple, it's easy to use, it's easy to acquire, it's not cluttered, and it's relatively intuitive. Vertical slashes for elevation, a few horizontal slashes for some windage, and you have a horseshoe to bracket things that are up close and personal. And it is sitting in a Burris QD mount. They're not terribly heavy, but they are on the heavier side when you compare it to some of the other ones out there. They have a interesting locking setup on here. Essentially, it's a dual lock. You pull this little tab forward and you can flip the lever out. So pull this little guy forward and then this lever flips out like that. You do both and the scope just pops right off, which is really nice. If you have to remove this thing and use your irons, you can do that in less than a minute. It takes no tools. So as far as receivers go, this upper receiver was part of a Bushmaster M4. This upper receiver has somewhere around 20 to 30,000 rounds through it, and I just can't let it go. So it's become part of this build. The lower receiver is relatively new to me. It is a Stag lower receiver. I've heard good things about them, so I decided to pick one up and try it out. They seem relatively decent quality. I've never had any problems with it yet. Time will always tell, but if I do end up having any issues with it, I'll probably swap it out for an ADM lower. I'm running a bad lever in this, and I know some of you will cringe, and I know some of you will cheer wildly because you are bad lever fanboys. That's fine. I have never had an issue using them. I know some other people have had an issue using them. Whatever it may be. As long as you keep good parts in your gun and you refresh your parts from time to time, there shouldn't be an issue. I have never had one of these lock back my bolt without me hitting it. I keep a relatively fresh spring in this guy. Change out your parts every couple of years. If you use it heavily, if you're going through 30, 40,000 rounds in a year, congratulations. You should be able to afford a few dollars in miscellaneous parts to renew your rifle. The reason that I run the bad levers isn't necessarily to drop my bolt, right? It's if I have any type of malfunction, say I have a double feed, stovepipe, whatever the malfunction is, I can, with one easy sweep of my charging handle, and lock my bolt to the rear, which is really handy. I can strip that mag out, lock the bolt to the rear, and I can get the cartridge out of the way, do whatever I need to do, put my magazine back in. As far as clearing malfunctions go, it is 10 times easier and faster using the bad lever than it is not. So moving down, I have a ambidextrous 45-degree Radian safety. This is their Talon safety. These were black, in case you were wondering. I'm a huge fan of these safeties. I'm a huge fan of their charging handles and a lot of their other products as well. I've never had any issues. They just work. You can have the long on the left side if you're right-handed, or the right side if you're left-handed. You can swap them back and forth. You can also change the throw from 45 to 90 if you like the old mil-spec style throw. Moving down, I decided to run a CMC trigger. Nice short 3-pound trigger, and nice short reset. What more could you ask for? Absolute reliability out of this trigger. I've never had a single issue. I'm not loyal to any brand. You'll come to find that on this channel. I will run whatever works and whatever is reliable and whatever the hell I like. That being said, Silencer Co. gas busting charging handle. There's a lot of people that have been having a lot of issues with these, including myself. I bought 2 of these. This was the first one. I bought another one for my 300 Blackout. The one for my 300 Blackout, the roll pins holding the handles in would not stop falling out, to the point where I would charge these without anything in it 6-7 times, and the roll pins would already be falling out. 10-12 times, the roll pins would have completely fallen out on the table, charging handle would have been in pieces. I had to send my second one back twice to get it repaired or replaced. This one I have not had any issues with whatsoever, and they do work. They have a little gasket built into the bottom of these charging handles, and they have a dish built into the top up here. With this running suppressed, there is virtually no gas back to the face of the shooter, which is really, really, really appreciated. Your eyes are teared up, your nose is running, your buddies ask you if you're all right, you say it's fine, this is a normal thing for me, but you don't have to worry about any of that with these charging handles, as long as they don't fall apart. I'm running a Strike Industries grip with a grip plug. Probably gonna swap that out for a BCM grip at some point when BCM drops their grip plugs for their grips. The reason I run a grip plug in the bottom, I'm gonna take this rifle, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do work with it. I wanna have extra stuff on me that takes up little to no space, that is extremely valuable. In the bottom of this grip plug, contents. The bottom of this grip, I have a spare firing pin, brand new, spare bolt, and I have 2 spare batteries for my optic. It takes up no space, it adds no weight to the rifle, but that is invaluable to have all of the wear parts that go on inside of your gun, spare batteries for your optic, truly invaluable. All right, moving on. The buffer system in this. This is an A5 buffer system in this. And then what I did was I took the steel weights out of that A5 buffer and I replaced them with tungsten weights. Tungsten is significantly heavier than steel. It just helps slow the whole operating system down. This whole thing is incredibly smooth shooting. There's no recoil, no extra gas. The wear and tear on the parts is going to be extremely minimal. On that A5 buffer system. I am running the Magpul, I think it's the SLS. Oh, it actually says right here, SLS. Turns out I'm just an idiot. The reason I run the SLS, they have unique storage compartments on each side. You can pull these little plugs out right here, and they hold batteries. You can get 3 batteries in each side. A lot of extra weight, I know, whatever. My flashlight takes 2 of these. So I have the batteries that are in my light. I have an extra change of batteries for my light. I have another change of batteries for my light. And then my pistol light also takes these. And I have 1 extra battery for my pistol light, and then I have another extra battery for that pistol light. So I have 2 changes of batteries for each one of my lights on each one of my firearms right here in the stock. The paint on this guy. This paint came out quite a bit darker than I was anticipating, which kind of sucks, but there is a base coat of tan underneath this, so as it wears through, hopefully it wears through to some of the tan. I'll put in a hyperlapse of painting this guy. It's not complicated, it's not rocket science. Painting is relatively straightforward. Do your base coat, do some stripes of colors that are in your environment, and call it a day. Don't overdo it with the dark colors like I did with this one. This is my G45, my Glock 45. We'll keep this nice, short, and sweet on the pistol. We'll go over the gear at a later date. We'll do a full build breakdown on the gear and my plate carrier. Starting at the front of this pistol, I have a Silencer Co. drop-in threaded barrel for this guy. And on the front is the Griffin QD mount. They call it a cam lock for putting your suppressor on. It makes it really fast. I'm running Trijicon Co-Witness, white circle, green dot. This is a factory slide for a G45. I sent the slide off, had it milled by Jaeger Works. They do fantastic work. 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops most of the time. On top of this slide, I am running the Holosun 509T. Love this little dot. It is a enclosed emitter dot. There's sea glass there. There's glass there. And what that does is keeps all of the dirt and debris from collecting in this. Having that extra piece of glass is really nice. It's also powered by solar, which is cool. I went ahead and stippled this frame myself. I'm also running can't remember the name of people who make this. I'll put it here. But it is a extended, more upright slide release, slide lock, whatever you want to call it. Moving down, Streamlight TLR7. I really like these. They're just enough lumens to get the job done, but for what I will use a pistol for, it is perfectly fine. Factory Glock trigger, but I did put a Zev connector in it, so it is a little bit crisper than normal. A little bit shorter reset. I like that a lot. It was like 16, 17 bucks, totally worth it. Moving down, I have a SLR Magwell. They're super sleek, super slim. They don't add a whole bunch. They add enough to help you get those mag insertions. This is a factory Glock mag with a Torn or Terran, however you want to say it, however they say it, +6 base plate. That takes this mag up to 23 rounds. Being as I have 1 in the gun and I have 2 more on my belt. Do that math, it's a lot. If you want to see more build breakdowns like this, get down in the comments, let me know. We'll go over the gear at a later time, and why I chose everything. If there's something I missed or something you would like to see better explained on these, let me know. Let me know in the comments. If you would like to support the channel, we do have an Instagram page, Independence Arms on Instagram. If you would like to donate to the channel, we are getting a Patreon set up, so you can subscribe to Patreon. The link will be in the description. It will also be on our channel homepage. And we have a Venmo and a PayPal set up. So if you would like to donate money for ammo, If you would like to see something done on the channel, a torture test, if you would like to see a review done, whatever it may be. It's a small channel, we're just getting going. So every little bit really helps and we really appreciate it. This has been Independence Arms. Thank you for watching.